computer. Okay, so this is just, it's called Detoxification 101. We'll get into cleansing a little bit, but like I said, my goal is really to kind of just share with you the difference between detoxing, detoxification, and cleansing. Like I said, people will be like, I can't detox because so like for instance, if I share something about a product or a supplement or a nutrient or something that has detoxification properties to it, people will automatically be like, I can't use that because I'm breastfeeding, or can I use that because I'm on medications, or can I do that? And what I want to make sure that we're remembering going into this is that detoxification is something that our body is doing every day. Like all these different functions of our body is detoxification. And so we are detoxifying right now as we speak. Our liver's working in ways that is detoxifying. It's breaking down toxins and things from our environment and hormones that it's done with and things like that right now, or it's attempting to, and in putting them into forms that our bodies can eliminate. It's putting them into water soluble forms that our body can eliminate through urine. It's putting them into fat soluble things that our body can eliminate through the bowels. And so there's so many different systems in our body that's constantly detoxifying. You know, we have different cellular processes that is basically taking out the trash. This is just all a detoxification process. And so when we talk about detoxifying, one of my goals in this class is to kind of demystify detoxifying so that it doesn't sound like it's this dangerous thing or this thing that you need to think about before you do it or whatever, because our body is doing it. And so in the process of detoxifying, my goal is to help my body, is just really facilitate the body's natural process in doing that already. And so versus cleansing, whereas cleansing is maybe like a forced large-scale detoxification process, or a process to facilitate detoxification on a larger scale. So I hope that just distinguishing the definitions of them and the differences kind of helps get your framework around it a little bit more, because I think that it's just too common to kind of lump those two things together. And then again, sometimes when people think of cleansing, they automatically think of like bowel cleansing, and there are obviously other cleansing methods and protocols and ways to help cleanse the body. We can cleanse the lymphatic system. We can help, cleanse different systems of the body and things like that too. So it doesn't necessarily mean the bowels either. So going back to detoxification, why is this important? Like I said, our bodies are doing it naturally. Our goal is to help support the body in naturally doing that. It's not something that we should go, hey, I don't know if I need this or not. We can go, I know I need it. I'm a human living in a toxic world. And, it's just safe to assume that we know we need to support our body's detoxification process. 287 toxic chemicals are found in umbilical cord blood samples. That's a lot of toxic chemicals right from birth. And so it doesn't matter what our history is. It's just kind of safe to assume that we've been exposed to a lot of really toxic things, and it's going to do us wonders to help support our body's natural everyday detoxification processes. 93%, which is just, I can't even get over that, how many of Americans over age 6 have BPA in their urine. BPA, you might have heard of, is just like an endocrine disrupting chemical, and you'll see a lot of things nowadays that say like BPA free because, oh, whoops, we accidentally screwed up, it was pretty toxic, maybe we shouldn't have had it in there. But there's still a lot of sources in the environment with it, and the things that they've replaced it with probably aren't as good, aren't any better. Only 3 to 12% of Americans get enough nutrition to support healthy detoxification. And this is where I feel like it's really important that we know about the importance of it, and then just facilitating our body's process. Over 42 million people in the US have frequent constipation, making it one of the most common gastrointestinal problems in the US. So this is just kind of showing like detoxification is just making sure your bowel movements are efficient and moving effectively enough. And we're going to talk a little bit about that too, and why that's important. But before we do, I want to share about the Chinese medical, or Chinese, wow, my brain right now, the the body clock. So in the ancient cultures, they had some pretty good wisdom about how the body worked and things like that. And one of them was making the connection between times that the body is having issues and what body organ or something that it was connected to. And so what I will notice is that a lot of times people have the exact same time of night that they're waking up. When they tell me I can't sleep very good at night, I will immediately ask, what time are you waking up? Because it's almost always the same time. If it's not and it's just really random, then I know that there's something, that it's something else. But if it's the same time every single night that they're waking up, I just got in the door, I'm taking my shoes off, sorry. If it's the same time that they're waking up every night, then I'm gonna look at the Chinese body clock and I'm gonna say, like, let's consider this and dig into this a little bit more. Do you have any things that might indicate it's this? You can use this chart. So for instance, if we look at, you know, like certain times of the night, like one of the most common ones I notice is 1 to 3 in the morning, which is liver. And we're talking about that now because our liver nowadays, if we're not actively and intentionally supporting the liver detoxification process that our body's supposed to do every single day, and we're overloading it with all the things that come at us in our environment, it's really common now for people to be waking at between 1 and 3 in the morning because their liver is at, that's the time of day when that body system or organ is supposed to be doing its work to rejuvenate, renew, replenish, whatever. And so that's kind of what this is based off of too. Sometimes also you can go to the other end of the corresponding, like the opposite end. So for liver, the opposite would be small intestine. And sometimes it might be that too. And so you can kind of go across the chart and look at that. So you can Google Chinese body clock and get different versions of this. It's just something to really look into and give you kind of some insight if you're like, I have this problem every day at this time or something like that. You can look it up and say, that might be a body system or organ that I need to focus on supporting its natural detoxification properties. So when we're talking about detoxification, a process that our body does every single day, and we want to make sure it's doing it well, we need to talk about the primary detoxification pathways. You'll see things like people are like, I'm doing this detox through my skin or through this or through that. But the important thing is that we need to first start with the primary detox pathway, which is our bowels and urine. It is ideal for toxins to be eliminated through those first and foremost. It is not ideal for them to be eliminated through the secondary pathways, which is the skin or sweat and breast milk. So you might see things like how somebody can be on, for instance, a drug like they could be on chemotherapy, and it'll show up in their urine and sometimes their sweat as their body is trying to detoxify it. And that's kind of just showing like the body's detox pathways. But when we can eliminate the things through our bowels and urine first, it minimizes the negative effects of those toxic chemicals and toxic hormones and things like that that they have on our body. So, you know, somebody will like say, I have this product to sell that's going to detox through the skin, or like something like a foot spa or something. And while that might have some benefits to it, I'd really first want to make sure that the bowels and urine are moving well and supporting the body's detoxification process through those. Like I said in the beginning though, our liver and, you know, the kidneys and all of that has to be able to break down the chemicals that it's detoxifying in certain, you know, fat soluble or water soluble things so that they can be eliminated through the bowels and urine. So it's not like this specific BPA chemical comes in and then we just pee it out. The body has to break it down into something that can be eliminated. So our first goal in just really having optimal health is to optimize our bowels and our urine. And then we can move on to working through on skin, sweat, and breast milk. Like when I have somebody who's like, I'm breastfeeding, can I take this, or can I detox, or whatever? I want to say yes, but I want to make sure that bowels and urine are optimized. And because if the toxins and everyday things that the body needs to eliminate are moving through those pathways first, then they're less likely to be excreted through skin, sweat, and breast milk. Does that make sense? I'm sorry if I'm going too fast for you guys. Okay, I'll just check the chat group. Where's the chat button on here? I don't see it. Okay, sorry. So one thing to know, and when I'm talking about detoxing things, I'm not just talking about like toxic chemicals in the environment. The body has to eliminate hormones every single month as our hormone cycles change, and then like our progesterone skyrockets up here during the luteal phase, and then it drops off. Those hormones that it created has to go somewhere. They have to be eliminated somehow. The body can't just store them up, and because then that's what we end up with, hormone imbalance and stuff. So it's not just toxic chemicals, it's hormones that the body's done with. It's also viruses. So like the first thing that you ever want to do for your immune system physically is to make sure that your bowels and your urine are moving, and moving very often, because that's the first way your body's going to eliminate viruses too. So what happens is, and I need to put the real picture up that I had to really study this, but I studied this a little bit more in depth when we were, sorry for those who are vegans maybe, but when we were butchering turkeys, and you can see as you're pulling out the intestines, sorry that was gory, but it's cool science, you can see all the blood vessels all along the digestive tract, all the intestines, and how they're connected, and they go right back into the body. So what happens, and we talked about how many people are constipated. Constipated doesn't mean you're going days and days without having a bowel movement. That's really bad. Constipated can just be not having one every single day, maybe not having two every single day. So what happens is these things that the body is trying to eliminate through the bowels after the kidneys or the liver has done what it needs to do to break them down into fat soluble things is putting it through the intestines. And so in the large intestines, there's these blood vessels that are absorbing what's in there if it's not moving through fast enough. So the body could be like, hey, I'm getting rid of these extra hormones you don't need anymore, and those toxins from that place you visit, and they were spraying chemicals all over and stuff, or whatever it is, or the chemicals in the food you ate, and they sit in the intestines and the colon or something for too long, they're going to be absorbed right back into the body. So this is why it's so important to optimize bowel efficiency and get it moving. So how do we do that? We want to first make sure that we are supporting our bowels first. Hires, immune tissue. Thank you. Awesome. I love it. So that's obviously going to be making sure that we're optimizing our diet. Some of the things besides what everybody knows about junk foods and sugar and things like that that are going to slow down bowels include like dairy, especially pasteurized dairy, you know, cheese and things like that. Iron fortified foods like cereals and breads can also slow down things because iron tends to do that. It's not the natural iron, it's the isolated added iron, the ferrous iron and stuff like that. So optimizing diet, more vegetables, more leafy greens does wonders for the bowels. A lot of people will say like, what do I do for constipation? Do I take this thing that the doctor said, or do I do this? And really there's a lot you can take that's not toxic, that's not so bad to move bowels. And the first things we start with are these three things that I put up here. So everybody needs probiotics. They're beneficial bacteria in the gut to make sure that the digestive system and the bowels are optimized and moving well. Some people, when they're not moving bowels well, actually do better with like 2 Life 9s instead of just one. And so sometimes just like if people are like, I'm taking probiotics, I'm like, well, first of all, we know they need to be a good one. And so if you're taking Life 9 and you're taking one and you're like, I don't know if it's working, try 2. And digestive enzymes are another thing that really can help move things. I remember before I knew too much about nutrition and health, one of my kiddos was having issues with constipation when he was in diapers. And we read somewhere about fresh papaya. And every time he would be constipated, I would give him some fresh papaya and it would work within 6 hours. And that's when I started learning about enzymes. So digestive enzymes are a really great way to help with that process. Once those are implemented, and if it's not enough from kind of going back on some years of slow bowels and things like that, and if we need something fast, we need to work on this fast, especially in kids, we can look at doing, you can even use a cheap magnesium, like a magnesium citrate. This is a really cheap, poorly absorbed magnesium form. So it's not the kind of magnesium that you would take to say work on migraines or muscle twitching or any of those signs of magnesium deficiency. But because it's poorly absorbed, it is eliminated through the bowels and it helps loosen bowels. So a cheap magnesium taken in large amounts can really help move things fast also. Second, after those are implemented, we have some other options for making sure that bowels are supported. And 2 of these things, the ICP and the Comfort Tone, are products that are part of the cleansing trio. We are doing a group cleanse. That's a cleanse. These products are not necessarily like cleanses themselves, but in a protocol that we're doing with them, an essential zyme, a digestive enzyme, it can really work at like a powerful bowel cleanse together. So some people, you know, like as they get older, their doctor might tell them to start on a fiber supplement. Sometimes those fiber supplements contain artificial sweeteners, which are really bad for the brain and other parts. Some of them are bad for, actually are really damaging to the digestive system and have been linked to bowel disease, which is so ironic. And so we want to make sure that we're using a good one. ICP is one of those fiber supplements. It's a powder. Comfort Tone is capsules, in that it has the very strong herb called Cascara sagrada, which is basically a stimulant for the intestines to start moving things for that peristalsis action. And then, you know, Rahimogen, I love. Rahimogen has some of the similar ingredients for moving bowels that are in Comfort Tone, but it's not a really strong bowel cleanse like Comfort Tone and ICP are. It helps with that, but it's also more of a blood cleanser. So we talked about different types of cleansing. Blood cleansing is another one. It's just really refreshing the blood and stuff like that, and the vascular system and all those kinds of things. So I really like that one. And I went to Utah last year and went to the store and stocked up on it a little bit when it wasn't available, because I really like how it just is really just a good deep cleanse. But again, remember, the word doesn't mean that we're going to be on the toilet all the time. It could mean different systems. So Periphery is a parasite cleanse per se, but again, it doesn't necessarily mean it's totally cleansing things out. It's just really great for not just critters that live in the digestive tract, but also really great for some of the unfavorable yeast and other things like that. And a cool benefit of that is that we actually were using it one time to do a cleanse a couple of years ago, and we did it for the duration that we normally do as a group. And one of my kiddos he missed the message that we were done with it, and something was going around. We all caught it except for him, and we're like, why did he not get it? Especially because he tends to be the one who does. And I looked over one night and he was taking his vitamins and he was still popping the periphery. So it's good for immune support too. But when we talk about like doing something like periphery. So we'll talk about cleanses and stuff a little bit, but I want to really just note that we don't ever want to start a cleanse, like a parasite cleanse or a candida cleanse or anything like that, until we first made sure that we have optimized the bowels first, that they are moving well, so that whatever it is that we are eliminating is going to be eliminated fast. Sometimes people will do like a candida cleanse or something like that without optimizing their bowels, and they will feel like a train wreck. And that's because they're loosening up these toxins or whatever is going on in the body that they're targeting, and the body's trying to eliminate them. And sometimes you get like a bottleneck action because the bowels haven't been optimized, and then you've got this congestion when they're trying to be eliminated, and it just comes right back into the system. So we want to make sure when we talk about cleansing that we've supported the body's detoxification process first, especially through bowels. And what we're going to talk about now is urine. So again, same with viruses and things. When our body is coming across something that might pose a threat to us, the body decides what it's going to do with it. And it's only a problem in our body if our body's primary defenses, which first starts with the detox pathway, bowels and urine, aren't optimized. So lots of good quality drinking water, not tap water, not chlorinated, fluoridated water. Good quality drinking water, and a lot of it every single day. What I like to remind people of is if you feel hungry, you're probably thirsty. So the first thing is drink a lot of water before you eat a meal, and then see if you're still hungry. And sometimes people will get to their meal time and be like, I just want to eat, and then drink a bunch of water with their meal. And that kind of poses some digestive issues because it's a little bit more complicated and difficult for the body to digest foods with a lot of water. So I like to make sure that when I'm drinking water, I drink a lot of it. I drink at least a water bottle before each meal. And then reducing and avoiding refined sugars. This is kind of where a lot of the urinary tract infections and things like that come into play. Wow, I can't think of it. Anyway, the good bacteria gets offset through sugars and things like that, and then that's where the bacteria can overgrow. So that would be even just like cane sugar, anything with cane sugar, anything, even if it's organic, you know, that's kind of a big part of it as well. So that's a really, avoiding those as much as possible is a really good way to support urinary health. And then we've got our citrus vitality oils, which are a really great way to just keep that part of the body healthy and moving and things like that. And then also they have the benefit of having D-limonene, which is something that is really great for optimizing the body's liver detox pathway. So we want to talk about the liver. Most people are like, when they first learn about this, they're like, well, I don't drink, and so I don't have a problem with my liver. But I will tell you that pretty much everybody nowadays has a liver that's overloaded, overwhelmed, and it needs some support. And we can see that like as people age, how they get age spots, those are liver spots. So liver's like, I'm really done. Digestive problems automatically mean that there's a liver, that the liver's overwhelmed, and stuff like that. So for me personally, liver support is something I have done every single day for 7 years or more. I've been on products that support liver. I knew growing up, just kind of, you know, it was something that was in my family's history and struggled with it early on. Also, if you've learned about the emotional connections to different body systems and organs, anger and stuff like that tend to really take a toll on liver. And I grew up with, you know, around a lot of anger and stuff like that. So that's part of it. And so anyway, we want to talk about, something just got cold in here. we want to talk about supporting the body's liver detox pathway. This is a pathway that is just part of the body's everyday functions, but how can we optimize it? So I have some really cool notes on this somewhere and I lost them. I'm going to try to wing this. What I did when I was putting this together is I looked at both, there's two phases of the liver, the everyday liver detox function. And there's, you know, there are certain nutrients at each phase that the body needs and the liver needs in order to really optimize that phase of the liver detox. So for instance, the phase 1 liver detox, 3 of the best things or 4 of the best things you can do for that is, it's just everyday vitamins that we should be getting anyway that are going to support all other systems. But it just kind of goes to show that these nutrients are for so much more. Phase 1 liver detox is super important for, super B vitamins, vitamin C, antioxidants, which we've got in Ningxia Red like nothing else. But it also has the citrus oils in it, which, like I said, are high in D-limonene. That is really great for the liver detox pathway. And then I put Super Kale Plus on here. This I created before we had Super Vitamin D, because vitamin D is really great for it. Also, one thing to keep in mind is that, like I said, if somebody's got digestive issues, that generally means their liver's overwhelmed. Skin issues, that means the liver's overwhelmed. Hormone issues, maintaining a healthy vitamin D level, because the liver is responsible for converting, metabolizing those things and breaking them down into forms that our body can use. So for instance, if I see lab results from somebody who has like all their hormones are flatlined, just like low estrogen, low progesterone, I know that that usually goes back to the liver, and that we need to really focus on their liver. If we dump a bunch of hormones into them to try to optimize those levels, we're not getting to what's really going on. So we'll start with phase 1 detox support, and then we also want to look at phase 2. And so I can't remember, I can't get this straight, and I don't know if I can't find my notes on this. But when people are sensitive to caffeine or alcohol, so there's two sides to that. People that are really overly sensitive to them, who like it really messes them up, caffeine, alcohol, things like that, like tiny bit and it messes them up. Or you've got the other end of it where it might not affect them at all. They might be able to just handle a ton of caffeine, ton of alcohol or something without it affecting them. Both of those indicate that one of the 2 liver detox phases is bottlenecked. So that might be phase 1 and phase 2. And I can't remember, I don't want to tell you which one is which. I'll have to go back and look because I don't want to screw it up. So what we can do, and if I can get that straight, you can kind of go, okay, I really need to focus on that liver detox phase because caffeine bugs me way too much. I think it's, anyway, I won't guess. I'll find that information. Sorry, I don't have it. But liver detox phase 2 really needs amino acids. Amino acids are so important for this process, and it's starting to be pretty difficult for people to get what they need for those. Some of them the body can make, and some of them the body needs in foods or supplements. Amino-wise is really great for that. And D-limonene, again, from citrus oils, is a very powerful thing for this phase as well. Magnesium, which is why I put mineral essence up here. Magnesium is so important. Some people will, they'll have something going on with their liver, and I'll be like, okay, let's work on some magnesium. And they're like, why? That doesn't matter. Or sometimes people might go, I'm having some issues with pain. And I'm like, okay, let's look at magnesium. And we know that magnesium relaxes muscles that might be constricting too much, that can cause problems, or maybe muscles that are constricting around the spine or things like that. But here's something interesting. The liver being overloaded can be a major cause of pain for people. If you've heard of the Gerson therapy, it's a natural therapy for cancer. And what part of it includes is a coffee enemas. And so these enemas use coffee, and what that does is it goes straight to the liver and helps just like detox and flush things out. People report that they feel immediate relief of their cancer pain after doing a coffee enema. And that is because of how much the liver plays a role in pain in the body. So again, I just kind of want to, that was just kind of random, but I wanted to throw that in there. And that's why some of these nutrients help. It's not, it's sometimes it's also because of the way that they support the liver. Sulfur, dietary sulfur. Again, we talk about this a lot, but it's not sulfa, like sulfa drugs. It's not sulfites, like the preservative that's added to grapes or wine or things like that. It's dietary sulfur. It's the third most abundant mineral in your body, or it's supposed to be, so you cannot be allergic to it. But sulfur is a really important part of the everyday liver detox pathway also. And yes, I personally feel strongly that both phases should be supported. So I'm not saying like you need to get on all 8 things every single day. I'm looking at them like I personally take all of them every single day, but I'm not saying that everybody should. You know, you might be like, okay, well, I can't really do all of them right now, so I might just kind of pick 1 or 2 from each one and start there, and that would be excellent as well. These are just a couple of things that are amazing for supporting the liver's everyday detoxification process. JuvaCleanse isn't something I do every day, but periodically throughout the year. So, you know, 4 times a year or so, I will do JuvaCleanse in capsules, and Juvatone. Juvatone I've actually implemented a little bit more regularly because I love it. It's one of my favorite all around liver supporting supplements. It's excellent. When you first start taking it, you might notice a metallic taste in your mouth, or when you start retaking it, because it is really doing something to detoxify things, and that's kind of like a crazy sign that it is. But then periodically throughout the year, I will also do JuvaCleanse. But again, these are not like the JuvaCleanse thing. I will not do. So like I'll do 10 drops in a capsule once or twice a day for a few weeks, a few times a year. But I won't do that unless I know for sure that my bowels are optimized. And then digestive enzymes. So when the liver is overwhelmed, it's not effectively, you know, helping the digestive process like it's supposed to be able to. And so we can really help that process by giving it the enzymes that it needs to help break food down. And that's what digestive enzymes do. So like Essential Zymes 4, I've already taken some today. And, you know, with large meals or with every meal or something like that. But anyway, so enzymes. And then we've got anything with Juva from Young Living means liver, you know, just kind of that area of support. And so what we're talking about, again, isn't cleansing. We're talking about supporting the body's natural homeostasis response. And what that is just the body is always trying to maintain like home status. It's always trying to do what it naturally is meant to do, what it's naturally created to do to support our health. So homeostasis, like if this is kind of crazy, but like fever, that's the body trying to maintain homeostasis. That's the body saying like, okay, let's launch a white blood cell cascade and support the immune system a little bit stronger right now, because that's what's going on. There's something coming in the body. Cancer cells are actually the body trying to maintain homeostasis. It's trying to put all of the toxins that the body couldn't eliminate into one place. It's trying to just kind of segregate it from the body to protect the body. So homeostasis is just like our body's natural everyday process that sometimes it's not able to do. And we can use these tools to support that process. It's really awesome. Cleansing. Cleansing ideas for the new year are going to be coming up in our group. I'm going to be posting some ideas, some big ones, some little ones, some that might fit for you, some that definitely might not fit for you. We are doing a group New Year cleanse starting on January 1st. So this is a bowel cleanse. This is to move the bowels. This isn't just to make somebody go on the toilet more often. This is designed to help people clean the intestines, scrub the stuff on the side, attack the things that shouldn't be in there that are stored in there, or you know, things like that. So it's not just to move things through faster, but it will help with that too. There are things in there that support the liver and things like that as well. So it's just great for that all around. We're doing that together. Normally in the past, we've done a parasite cleanse together in the new year, and we've just told people, like, you know, optimize your bowels before you do it. But I really wanted to focus on just doing this process. And we'll talk more about that in the group. I'll do a video with some more directions on that, but you can go in our group and click on events, and it will pull up in there, and then you can go on there and read the directions and the details and stuff. This book I have put on here because I love this book so much. Inner Transformations Using Essential Oils is written by two chiropractors who have done a lot of blood work and labs and things like that, just all kinds of things with people, and really tailored protocols and things like that for people. So it has different sections in it. Each chapter is a different body section, system, process, or something like that. And so, like, chapter 4 is the colon, chapter 5 is gut bacteria, 6 is the kidneys, 7 is yeast, 8 is the master cleanse, 9 is the liver, 10 is metals, and then like 12 is colon and lungs. And so, and then there's sections on there about hormones, infertility, pituitary, thyroid, adrenals. So it has a chapter for all different things, and it gives very, very detailed protocols and things like that in there. So it's super great to have on hand and kind of look through. And so, like, if somebody's like, I've got some of this going on, you know, I might refer them to that chapter in there to read up on it. And the chapters are not too long, but they're very informative. So that book is basically your guide to cleansing all different body systems and things like that. So I highly recommend it. We used to get it off of Life Science Publishing, which it doesn't seem to have it on there anymore, and maybe they will again. So I think it's available on Amazon, and it's also available on oilsupplystore.com, which is a business that I like to support. That's Aaron Rodgers' store. So you can get it there. We will talk more about these. I'm going to be posting ideas, like there's an estrogen cleanse that you can do for those who maybe have estrogen dominance. There are a few different ones that you can do, and we'll talk about little ideas for that. You can pick maybe how you want to move into the new year and just optimize different body systems and optimize your health overall. So that's what I have for you guys tonight. I'm gonna stop the recording and whoops, hold on. Okay.